Yes. I definitely understand that body reaction and response, which is part of like that racial trauma, right? I'm not 100% sure what images came to your mind, what memories came to the surface. But like when we are having this conversation of body oppression, systemic trauma, racial discrimination and trauma, be it vicarious, personal, right? We do have this inner experience where it's like, I know that doesn't feel good, right? So I just wanted to acknowledge that. But when I say that body is the first site of oppression, and I won't necessarily just say like when I say it, because I'm the only person who says, I'm sure other people have, right? There's books on this, right?
Yes.
But two distinct experiences come to mind, and then they kind of bud out a little bit. But of course, the first one is the history of enslavement, right? So very clearly you have bodies being taken, people being stripped of their names, their language, their titles, their respect. And the whole purpose of that oppressive act and system was to disempower, to disconnect people from their bodies. So that way they are not feeling as if they can or are able to overcome that system, right? And when you look at the longevity of such an experience and how that trickles down in terms of generational relationships, family connections, you can then see how bodies are policed, right? And so when I'm even thinking about respectability politics, right, and how sometimes we can be so frustrated, annoyed with people when they practice that, it's like, when I look at it, when I think of the components of respectability and why it exists, it's very clear to me that it's anxiety, right? It is a huge anxiety response based on racial trauma and discrimination. It's, if I do this, I will survive. And so what would it be like if we were able to just garner a little bit more space in our communities and our conversations to be able to recognize that someone's behaviors, their coping skills and strategies, their survival techniques, though it does further discriminate, oppress another group, but they are using it to make sure that they are okay. And then if we're talking about the importance of things like empathy and validation and recognition and acknowledgement, how that can shift the energy in the room if I can say, well, you're not doing this to me intentionally to be malice, but you're trying to survive right now. Then we can have a conversation about why and how that strategy came to be. Whose mom, whose parent, whose grandparents taught you this as a way to survive an oppressive, white supremacist, right, society. You have to dress this way, wear your hair this way, talk this way, behave this way, so that way you are accepted